dermis and bone directly. On the other hand, false retaining ligaments are attached to dermis and somewhere, such as smooth muscle fascia, except bone. In mid and lower face, true ligaments is only two: mandibular ligament and zygomatic ligament. Clinically, we should know that true ligament is most firm and strongest than false ligaments, and it means that area around a true ligament is least movable. As I already mentioned, all of our retaining ligaments divide face into multi-sections. So, for natural anti-aging, we should make the boundary not to be noticeable. If we do some procedures without any consideration of retaining ligaments and separated sections, we would meet an expected case. Like this. Can you see this mid-cheek groove after procedure? It's called Indian wrinkle in Korea. She got a minimal invasive lifting from me. The mid-cheek groove becomes way too remarkable after lifting procedure. Lifting effect is really good, I think. Then, can you think? Can you feel this? She was satisfied about the effect? May not. Then, is there any solution? I'll tell you later about that in detail. Anyway, we should be able to apply already known anatomy to real patients. Okay, the most medial white line under the eye. This line is mid-cheek groove by medial zygomatic cutaneous ligament. Most medial side. And big whitish circle is zygomatic ligament area. The next, the circle, the right picture, the uppermost line is lateral zygomatic cutaneous ligament. It lies along zygomatic arch, and you always meet and feel this ligament when you insert the thread. At the back, this line is mesenteric ligament area along anterior border of mesenteric muscle. If you ask a patient to bite mouth tightly, you can feel this line. And very short line under the mouth corner is mandibular ligament. Most tight and hard ligament it is. In addition, bone at this point is resorted with aging, and it makes that lateral cheek fat seems to be more descending than it does. The last is mandibular septum along mandible border, the lowest point. This structure is quick. I think this structure is relatively less mentioned than others, but I think this structure is quite important and useful to predict before procedure how good candidate the patient is for thread lifting. Look at this patient. Let's predict how good or bad result we make with thread lifting. She has quick, good fat volume, but her mandibular septum seems to be weak and more weaker with aging. It causes the tissue to droop beyond the mandibular boundaries. There is definitely different from this patient. She has very strong mandibular septum, so facial tissue is hard to descend beyond the mandibular border. Next is facial expression muscle. I think just knowing the name of muscles and its insertion and attachment point is less meaningful. That's just knowledge. We should know. Yes, we should know them of course, but we have to know repeated facial expression proves what? In mid and lower face, there are many muscles, but among them, remember just a few things in particular. Zygomatic major muscle, zygomaticus minor, and depressor angulioris. I'll tell you in detail why we should know them in later session. Before that, just discuss the importance of facial expression. Someone might say that we can't lift muscle itself by thread, so we need to know only skin and fat compartment. And many doctors still have focused on that skin and fat compartment. However, we are not wax figures. He is the most famous entertainer in Korea. You might know him on the Running Man broadcast program. Right side, a wax figure copying him. They compare it too. Even he copies his figure. But the wrinkle looks different. I think we should know that wrinkle is caused by the relationship changing between each anatomy structure depending on the facial expression. Moreover, doctors are not just medical technicians. Our duty is to find the proper way for anti-aging effects and educate our patients why that way will be working or not working on you. For example, when I met a patient who has always steadily angry face, I will say it's difficult to get rid of your marionette line. That's because of your habit. Before meeting our patients, since next slide, let's get to know the concept of aging exactly. Aging means changing of relationship between 5 structures: bone, muscle, fat compartment, retaining ligament, skin. Bone resorption causes changes of muscle position and make a gap in depth somewhere, like a stair. And repetitive muscle expression leads dynamic wrinkles of the skin. And with aging, when the contraction of the muscle becomes fixed, it makes dynamic wrinkles, turns into static wrinkles. And also it provokes somewhere above the static wrinkle to be bulges, such as nasolabial fold. It looks more bulging. The last thing is hollowness, especially smaller area or mid-cheek groove. Yes, they become outstanding, remarkable by maxillary resorption, maintained zygomatic arch, and deflation of the fat compartment. If you understand this, let's go to meet a patient, real patient. Yes, she came to my clinic, yes, just last bit, and she said, all things drooped. I look older than before, maybe suddenly. She said to me, with scrolling their cellular phone to search a photo when she was younger. She wanted to show the picture to me. Yes, that is her expectation. I'm waiting her with sigh. The photo is perhaps mostly filtered with some app. After giving a glance, I asked her again, what is your real problem? What are your unsatisfied points? Maybe she'd say, nasolabial fold. Maybe I think most of the patients know this word. And then, yes, I don't like the long wrinkle from mouth corner to mandible border. And sharp and clear mandible line is gone. And a little dark line on the anterior cheek also appears. I think in my mind, here's an old woman who should be taught by me. Can we improve only nasolabial fold without any changes on the anterior cheek? Yes, I think if it is possible, I think it may be possible, but does it look beautiful or useful? Much amount of filler injection on nasolabial fold can make itself disappear. But is it correct way to get youth? I don't think so. Thus, I listen their words in one ear and out the other. After their monologue, I explain like this. There are 3 units to restore together. All components of each subunit should be restored together, because our goal is not to eliminate the line or fold. Our goal is to look naturally youthful. Now let's take a closer look at each subunit. First subunit is composed of nasolabial fold, anterior cheek, and mid-cheek growth. Nasolabial fold is the most common problem that patients want to get rid of. There is no one who doesn't know what is nasolabial fold, but there are quite a few people who don't know what makes the fold deeper. I have 2 daughters, very young, 7 and 5, maybe short. I can see nasolabial fold on them in some situation, smiling or crying. Then can we say they have nasolabial fold? No. Nasolabial fold is related to these 4 muscles, expression muscles. And as you can see, these muscles partially insert just under the dermis of nasolabial fold directly. Let's get to know about the 4 muscles. First is levator labius superior alacnazi. This muscle lies under the most medial side of nasolabial fold. When we use this muscle voluntarily, it lifts up medial part of the molar fat pad. Like this picture, it looks like pinching the medial leg of molar fat pad. It makes like this surface feature. Second is levator labius superior. It has a similar effect on the nasolabial fold. These 2 muscles are related to the medial part of the nasolabial fold. The tissue sagging direction depends on muscle movement direction under the tissue. It means tissue on these 2 muscles sag down vertical vector, and opposite vector is needed to restore it. Adjust lateral to nose. Adjust It just led her to know. Do you think it is possible? It's possible? I don't think so. And in addition, deep medial cheek fat deflation also aggravated loosening and descending over it by gravity. Maybe someone caught the real hidden meaning. It's difficult or even impossible to restore by just only lifting at this area. Third is zygomaticus minor muscle. It is related